What a better way to kick off your weekend football on a Friday over at Fanatics. Come on, let's go see what they got for us this week. All right, let's check out another Fanatics live auction. This one is number 197, football exclusive cards here to kick off our weekend. And of course, as always, we start by the highest price. We're going the live auction again this week, which seemed to be a bit more fun. Hopefully everyone has been enjoying the content, and maybe you'll learn a little bit about football cards as we go. I'm going to talk football. Hopefully you enjoy it, and maybe you'll just happen to see a card that you want to bid on. So we start here on a Friday afternoon, and of course, leading the way, no surprise, it's Tom Brady and it's Kabooms. You know, the Kaboom market, I think, has been very well documented, the explosion that it has had over the past year. And Tom Brady, of course, his cards have gone through the roof over the last several years, and understandably so. So it's no surprise to see his Kaboom cards up on top. Now, let's talk about Kaboom just for a moment. Absolute, which would be 2025 Absolute Football, should be coming out within the next week. You'll hear us do a product breakdown on Card Talk with Mrs. Doc over on YouTube. But Absolute is coming out with horizontal Kabooms, vertical Kabooms, which I've had before, gold and green parallels, but also this year, for the first time, they will have Super Bowl champion Kabooms, featuring both horizontal and vertical with different checklists for both. So I'm excited to see what they look like. I love the visual appeal of a good Kaboom, but you just gotta wonder, at what point is the saturation point with Kabooms? Maybe we're nowhere near it. I don't know, but they're fun to look at. Panini sure is riding that wave with Kabooms. Well, let's start scrolling down. There's a couple of cards that I've gone through that I want to highlight. We see another Bowman Chrome Tom Brady. Of course, we talked about that a week or two ago. The first one that really caught my eye personally was this 2021 Eminence Shield Gold Bar of Joe Montana. Now, Eminence is coming out with a new product, a 2024 release for football within the next week. Actually, it should have come out just yesterday. I think Panini has a chance to make this product the single biggest football product in the history of Panini's existence. The key is whether or not they are going to put game-used material into this Eminence product, because what we saw in 2021 is a lot of things were either not associated or just player used. And the player used for me at a product that is $20,000 a box simply isn't going to cut it. I will say, however, I am very excited for this product, and I think these cards are just beautiful. And this Montana is no exception. Boy, we see a color match Sam Darnold Kaboom 101. You see that green, which is a 1-of-1 version, of course. Sure does color match to the Jets. Too bad that's probably part of his career that he simply wishes to forget. As you might expect, we come across this 2014 Flawless Greats Gold Peyton Manning, and that's exactly where we're going to begin our deep dive. So currently sitting at $2,200, still has 2 days to go. Of course, 2014 Flawless, the first year of Flawless. Now, this is a single patch window as opposed to the double patch window that we see with the horizontal version, both out of 2014 Flawless, both called Greats. Boy, this one looks pretty cool. Even though you're not getting a lot of color out of that patch, which typically makes the black and white background and photo pop, you do get some dirt on there, which I think is pretty cool. The autograph looks great. You know, it's PSA slabbed. To me, the grade doesn't necessarily matter unless there's something egregious there. But it got me thinking, you know, the single patch window is the vertical. I prefer vertical cards. The horizontal is the double patch window and traditionally commands a bit higher price. So I wanted to review some prices of recent sales and just see what, I'm real curious what y'all would want out of this. So the most recent one that we saw sold was just a week ago for $7,700. And that was the Emerald Green, numbered to 5. Of course, it still has that Flawless sticker there. That's a beautiful card. A month prior, we get one that's numbered to 25, sell for about $3,000. And that's been pretty standard for his prices recently of the double patch window numbered to 25. You can see the 3,000 here. Of course, the outlier, I think we've gone through this before, but this exact card sold in June of 2021. You can see, I believe, the same exact card. You can see the dirt on the patch. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's not the same exact card. Nope, this is number 5. The other one's numbered to 9, but clearly cut from the same spot of the jersey. Regardless, this one sold for $2,100. I suspect that some of the boom that we've seen in the market since June will bump this card up in price, the one that's going for sale now. But which one would you rather have? So let's assume this goes for under $3,000. Do you want the vertical single window numbered to 10, or do you want the double patch numbered to 25? I don't know. And that for me is still something that's up for a little bit of internal debate. Now, make no mistake about it. I'm logged in here. I like to give you guys an insight as to what I do, whether it's for better or for worse. And make no mistake about it, I'm going to be watching that card. All right, let's keep rolling on here. We got Joe Montana. We see our first PMG, this one of Brett Favre. And, I tried to pull up some sales of this, and these cards are so incredibly condition sensitive that it really makes it hard to track the price because these just don't sell often. And when they do, it's hard to get one that's also a PSA 7. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull up any great data on this card, but sure is a great looking card. And of course, the 97 Metal Universe PMGs are pretty popular. I fully expect this number. You can already see 36 bids. I expect this number to just rise and rise. All right. So I wasn't planning on talking about this, but here's a Super Bowl downtown. Now, in 2023 and a few other years, the downtown insert has had some variation. So they have Super Bowl downtowns. And of course, they introduced the Black Pandora. We did a full episode of the podcast, a Pack to the Future podcast. You can check that out anywhere you get podcasts, and of course on YouTube as well to see that breakdown of downtowns. But I'm curious what you think. I mean, this is a Super Bowl downtown, but when I see Mahomes, I don't think of a desert. I think of money laundering to refs. I think of the refs, tucking them into bed at night and giving them a little smooch on the forehead. I think of them cheating. Of course, I'm a Broncos fan. I say none of this tongue in cheek. I fully believe all of it. And I don't know, but all kidding aside, I don't think of them in a desert. This card doesn't necessarily do it to me. I would have loved to have seen that Super Bowl logo bumped up and made a little bit more prominent, but it's easy for me to nitpick from here. One card that I do want to stop on that is a Patrick Mahomes is this 2017 Donruss Optic, red and yellow. Now, I remember collecting this year of Donruss Optic. Unfortunately, I don't have any Patrick Mahomes, but this PSA 10 already near $2,000. So it's a pretty good looking card. The red and yellow, of course, the red pops, so does the yellow with the Kansas City Chief colors. And I have to think that if you're a Chiefs collector or Chiefs fan, it makes it a little more desirable to have that color match there. But if memory served me correctly, I'm pretty sure the red and yellow were not a numbered insert. So actually I went back to look at this, and this is through Cardboard Connection, and the 2017 Donruss Optic base. So the red and yellow not numbered and a part of the rookie parallels that were also bronze, hollow, lime, pink, red and yellow, white sparkle at the time were not numbered. And then of course you get the numbered parallels. So this card not even numbered, and it just made me wonder, is this a hobby only product, or was Optic at the time also in retail? And believe it or not, it was also in mega boxes, as seen here on Up North Collector's YouTube channel, where this collector here is breaking a mega box. And of course, you can see the red and yellow parallel, this one of Jeremy Nichols. But this is a card, all to say that this Mahomes is a non-numbered parallel that could even come from retail mega boxes. And despite that, this card's going to sell for probably over $2,000. As we check out Card Ladder here, we go to the value, and we see the last sold price of $2,100. And there are a lot of these PSA 10s. There's nearly 1,200 of them. But despite that, still commanding $2,000, that price, as you see over the past year, has been pretty stable. So it's not like we're just seeing a bump over the last 6 months or so. Even over the last 2 years, it's seen some growth, but not tremendous as we have seen with other football cards. So, I mean, this seems to be legit. And I think that this non-numbered card that you could have got out of a retail mega box in good condition is going to sell for over $2,000. So that one kind of blew me away. It's pretty cool, right? There aren't many times these days when you can go spend 40 or 50 bucks is what I assume a mega box would have cost then, and have potential at a couple grand card. And I think it's fun to know that world, although 8 years ago, could still exist. So that one's pretty fun. All right, let's continue our browse. Now, lots of Kaboom golds. We got a Danny Jones, we got a Michael Penix, and we got a Von Miller. Now, this Von Miller's mine. It is literally my card. Well, it's no longer my card, but it is my card up for auction. So all the disclaimers out there, this one's mine. Interesting to me is the difference, like the pop and color of this Von Miller. I really had a hard time letting it go. As a Bronco fan, this was one of my favorite cards just because this photo looks very reminiscent of what I remember of Von Miller, of course, getting a sack, but also destroying Cam Newton, like during the Super Bowl, and then running around with the sack afterwards with the traditional fist up as he runs and celebrates. And so that one really hits, but had to sell that one to buy my Peyton Manning's captain patch at a Topps 5-star. So I'll be interested to see where that one goes. We get more Brady. Boy, Drake May. Drake May's playing really well. Like, did the Patriots do it again? Did they honestly draft what appears to be an unathletic, white male who can play quarterback? And it seems like they did it. And it seems like they've got themselves a quarterback and a coach too. It just shows you coaching makes all the difference in the world. And the Patriots are probably going to be a problem for the AFC for the next 5 to 10 years if he stays healthy. Another one that I'm watching in particular is a 99 Donruss Elite passing the torch. Of course, we talked about these in the past. These cards can be numbered quite high, but the autographs are just the first 100. This one, Jim Brown and Terrell Davis. Now, Jim Brown isn't someone that stands out much in my mind. He was before my era of watching football. However, I know he is a great. And so you can see here, I'm going to keep an eye on this card too. I'll be really intrigued to see where the price of it goes. There's only 3 of these PSA 10s. Both those autographs, I believe, are on card. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. Boy, this card seems low. I wasn't planning on talking about it, but 23 Prism Gold rookie of Bijan Robinson. It's not a gold shimmer. It is a traditional gold rookie card of who is arguably the best running back in the league, and it's only at $1,000. Tell you what, those non-quarterback position players seem so undervalued compared to even like basketball as a sport that it just blows my mind. Now, I'm sure it's going to end for more than $1,000, but hot damn, that's a good looking card. All right, more Kabooms. What do you know? What a surprise. Kaboom. We got a Crusade. Crusade was fun. They had some fun products. We got a Trops Chrome. Bo Nix, of course, is a Broncos fan. I loved that fourth quarter last week. And what a pretty notable time to be able to get that card up there just in time for that. Let's continue to scroll. Oh, I wanted to show you this Deion Sanders. So this is a 2016 dual patch game used auto. Now, I've mentioned this before that as we got closer to 2020, he stopped putting in game used patches. 2014, I know they're game used. 2015, I know they're game used. Fanatics says this one's game used. I wanted to prove it to you. So this is 2016. I love the patch color, by the way. And this card is a beauty. But as we flip it over, sure enough, still game used. So at least we have 3 years of known game used patches in football for Flawless. For me, it's fun to kind of mentally keep track of that, especially as I scroll through eBay or go to card shows and see things here. Oh gosh, I didn't even see this before. So this is a Donruss Elite Patrick Mahomes. This is a PSA 10. I actually had the red parallel of the Mahomes Donruss Elite rookie card. It was a PSA 9, and I sold it years ago. And I haven't gone back to look at the price. I don't think I want to know. So we'll just let that one be. 2015 Flawless Great Steve Young game used patch. Beautiful patch, beautiful colors, beautiful card. Would have loved to have seen this sign maybe, what do you think, red or black? I mean, blue makes sense. It's what most are signed in, but what color would you have liked to seen that autograph in? But great looking card, especially for 49ers fans. It's only at $575. I bet that's going to end at less than $1,000 for a pretty high end product and a pretty nice card. All right, let's go on over to page 2. Just like last week, I want to remind you, if you are enjoying this content, or even if you just want to help our channel out, take a second to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Turn on your notifications so that every time that we post a video, whether it's through our podcast, our weekly product release discussions, or Football Friday, you get notification so you can come back and watch us. All right. We continue the scroll with more Kabooms. Absolute Glass. Now, this Drake May, these glass cards are pretty unique. Now, my buddy Ricky and host of the podcast, he has a couple of NBA glass cards. They do look pretty cool. If you can set them up on a display where perhaps there's a light that's shining from behind it or even underneath it, these things really pop. But it's also hard because I mean, when you're scrolling through here, to me, it doesn't stand out. In fact, if I was scrolling briefly, I would just roll right past this card. But these are cool novelty cards. I don't know in my mindset that these are ever going to hold a place as being significant cards or cards that people go back and look for to, explode in value. But they are really cool to have in person. You can do some really fun things from a display standpoint with them. What do we have here? Jaden Daniels, rookie Kaboom, more Mahomes, a Super Bowl Tom Brady patch. Now, this is a pretty cool card, but I think Panini missed on this. On the side here, it says Super Bowl swatches, but nowhere on the card does it actually say if you wore this in the Super Bowl, which I think was a huge miss. Because if he did wear it in a Super Bowl, it would command a much bigger price. But I think, unfortunately, they just missed on the labeling. Okay, so we continue through. There's another Mahomes just taunting me. That's all right. I didn't want or need a Mahomes in my house anyway. I do quite a bit of paranormal investigating, and there's certain things that you just don't want to come back with. You don't want to bring a ghost back. You don't want to bring back a negative spirit, and you don't want to bring Chief cards into your household as a Denver Broncos fan. It just makes for bad juju. Okay, so enough of that. This is a good-looking Cooper Kupp with the ram horn. Truth be told, there was a Marshall Faulk 2014 greats. It was a 101 that ended last week that had the ram horn on it as well. And I lost, I think, that card by $20, and I was so bummed. I love the ram horn. The high school that I went to was a Ram, and so it hits a little bit more home with me, even though I'm not an LA Ram fan. That's a fun one. This National Treasures Jonathan Taylor rookie tag patch auto 1 of 1 has got to be the most undervalued card in this auction, right? I have no data to back this up, but it has to be. This guy's playing at an all-pro level. He is on the team that has the best looking offense currently and the best record in the NFL, because they got a little help from the refs against the Broncos. But I digress. All-pro player. He is fantastic. This is his rookie card out of a high-end product that is a 1 of 1 and an on-card autograph. It is a beauty, and it's less than $500 with 2 days left. What are we doing? I know Brett from Stacking Slabs is a Prism collector, and I love his content. I listen to him every day. Brett, if there's a chance that you listen to this, I want you to know that I thank you for the content you put out. I walk my dogs early every morning, like 4 a.m. early, and I'm listening to that show every day. But I know he's a big Jonathan Taylor collector. Haven't heard him talk about National Treasures, but I hope he sees this one and would be curious if he's going after it to buy it. All right, let's continue on. We've got more Kelsey. So here's the international downtown that I hinted at earlier, where we had downtowns that were Super Bowl and also international. This one's kind of interesting with Kelsey. We got a Drake May Tiger. What do you guys think about what's selected with Tiger and Zebra? I think they did elephant, maybe snakeskin. To me, it never hit. I don't know why. Just nothing grabbed me about it that said I had to have that card. But I know some people love it, and they continue to make it, so they must know what they're doing. Okay, so I scrolled down further, and Eminence, I think this is one that I wanted to highlight. Going back to 2021 Eminence, these Super Bowl champion dual autos, these cards are so amazing. This card's probably going to sell for less than $1,000, and it's Steve Young and the greatest wide receiver of all time. There's only 8 of these in existence, and it still has its Eminence sticker on top. These cards are beautiful, and I'm tempted to bid on this. You see me watching it. I am very tempted just because you have 2 greats and a beautiful card. Fun fact, Steve Young saved the life of my cousin, like one of the only times that I've ever been skiing, even though I live in Salt Lake City, like right outside that window or mountains 10 minutes away. We were skiing. I was probably 16 or so, and my cousin was maybe 10. We were stopped at kind of the midway point of a hill next to a tree, and my cousin had lost his hat, so we're looking for it, and someone comes down and grabs it for us and hands it to us, and it was Steve Young. And as he goes to hand it to me, I turn around and my cousin is starting to fall down the side of the hill. Steve Young skis up and grabs him and pulls him back up, and we ended up getting a photo. It was great. So thanks, Steve Young. Bet you didn't expect to hear that on the show today, did you? All right, so let's continue down. There's still a few more cards that I want to highlight. This 2014 limited counterparts, this is a beauty for Broncos collectors, and I'm probably going to bid on this. Now, these are sticker autographs. It is not a 101, but we have Elway, Terrell Davis, Rod Smith, Shannon Sharp. It is not a playing days card for Elway. But this is the core of the Super Bowl team that won back-to-back Super Bowls in 97 and 98. It is a beautiful card. I do have a trio of the top 3 autographs, but I don't have one with Shannon Sharp. It's probably one that I'm going to go ahead and bid on. Speaking of another one of my cards, this one. Elway, flawless, 2016. I guess we already talked about that with the Deion Sanders being game-used patches. Broncos fans, I know, really enjoy these cards. I'll be curious to see where this one goes. I forget what I paid for this one. I did see a couple at National that seemed to be fairly highly priced. I was hoping to upgrade, but I didn't actually do it. All right, let's continue on to the third page as we are getting closer to home. The last part that I want to remind people of to help out the show, we do have a website, ttfpodcast.com. Put a link in the notes below, but you can watch and listen to each and every one of our episodes, but also the single biggest way that you can help support our show is if you are an eBay shopper. If you go to that website, you click the sponsor and affiliate link, click the eBay logo, and then shop as planned. Do your normal shopping. It's free for you. Everything you buy within the next 24 hours, the show gets a small commission in the process, and Ricky and I will love you forever. And as a matter of fact, most of that money is going to go back into Secret Santa that we do every year, a card exchange. Stay tuned to the podcast for details on that. We've had great numbers over the past few years, and it's always a good time. All right, so we have more downtowns, more Kabooms. We got a Tom Brady Fleer Ultra in the old Michigan uniform there. That one is kind of fun. Odell Beckham. I believe that there were a couple more cards I wanted to highlight before we wrap up. The first Jackson Dart that we see, boy, he sure is looking good. He looks promising. And that quarterback class with Dart, Daniels, Penix, Nix, I think I'm forgetting someone. Boy, that one could end up being a pretty significant quarterback class. Caleb Williams, right on cue. He was in that class as well. Got a Jerry Rice auto. Now, here's one that stood out to me. This 2007 SP Threads exclusive Calvin Johnson. So at first look, I saw this and I was blown away by the fact it's only at $230. It's a PSA 10. It's numbered to 100. It's a rookie auto of one of the greatest wide receivers ever. So I couldn't understand it. So I put on the headset and figured I'd go to the booth and talk to the assistant head coach, who in this program is Chat GPT. They said a couple of things. Number one, Calvin Johnson. This era of football cards I am not super familiar with because I was kind of out of collecting during this time frame. This was during my medical school days in which I did not exist on the earth outside of the classroom. So during this era, SP Rookie Threads was not thought to be any type of a premier high-end product. He also had rookie autographs in Exquisite. They said Contenders, and there were two other big ones as well. I think I've got it pulled up right here. Let me show you what I wrote. What else do we have? SP Authentic and National Treasure. So, I mean, at best, this is a fifth-tier rookie for him. But I still thought, gosh, it's an on-card autograph. Why is it still so low? The booth reminded me, not so fast. Even though it looks like it's on card, you can see the very top of his signature here gets cut off. And it just so happens that is, in fact, a sticker. Maybe not one of Calvin Johnson's most important cards, but I tell you what, if you're a Calvin Johnson fan and you want something cool that's probably going to be under $500 is my guess, this is it. It's pop 1 of 6, and it hits all the other check boxes too, like the color matching of the whole card as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, just a couple of left to highlight. Ooh, Tua. Boy, Tua's had a rough go of it. Do you guys think Tua's done? I think it's got to be the end of the road for Tua, right? At least in Miami. I don't know how it isn't. It's been an awful year for him. It's hard. Miami's getting roasted. He's saying things at the podium that are tough. I don't follow it super closely with Tua, but I start to feel bad for the guy. All right. Speaking of people I feel bad for, Russell Wilson is not one of them. We can keep scrolling. All right, on to the last page. There are just a couple more cards that I wanted to highlight. We'll see if I can find those. If not, we'll just jump right to them. Here it is. This is the 2024 Panini One Moment in Time Orange John Elway. Panini One has done a pretty darn good job with these one moment in time or moments in time, depending on the sport. They take a very iconic play, put it on a card. Sometimes they're autographed, sometimes they're not. But in basketball, these cards really pop. I have one of these from Panini One, but it's from a year that's earlier in 2024. And I got to tell you, my initial reaction when I saw this, I was pretty frustrated because the photo is almost identical. I mean, it's an iconic photo of John Elway winning the Broncos' first Super Bowl against the Green Bay Packers. I think it was early in the fourth quarter. He didn't need to dive to get that first down as they're going in for a touchdown, but he did, and kind of helicopters in the air, and very iconic. But previously, the card that I had, I believe, is numbered to 10. Now, I thought, okay, this is numbered to 20 in an orange parallel. That's kind of odd. So it got me thinking, What other parallels are out there? Well, guess what pops up even later in this auction? A red numbered to 80? Like, what the hell? 80? What are we doing here? So I went to the checklist. One moment in time. This is for 2024 Panini 1 football. This is numbered to 80, correct? But it's not numbered to 80. It's got to be numbered to 60. Yeah, it's numbered to 60, so it's a misprint on the listing. Because on our checklist, check this out. You've got red numbered to 60, green numbered to 40, bronze numbered to 20, gold numbered to 10, platinum numbered to 5, black numbered to 1. We're looking at 136 of these? No! Oh, and those are just the parallels. Look at this. There's also 99 of the base. What are we doing? 25 of these? That is how you effectively kill a rare and highly sought after parallel or insert subset. It's really too bad. I love the fact that more people are going to get a chance to buy this card, but man, that's a bummer. I don't love it. I'm curious if you guys think I'm wrong. I would love to read the comments. You can always hit us up on Instagram as well, which I didn't mention earlier at Pack to the Future podcast. It's almost exclusively me messaging those, but if there's ever a message that comes across for Ricky or myself, we just bounce them off each other. One final card to look at, which should be on this page, and it may not be. Here it is. It is the 2016 Upper Deck All-Time Greats Masterful Painting Sketch, Barry Sanders Auto 101. It's only at $120. I'm definitely going to bid on this card. So this comes out of the Upper Deck All-Time Greats collection. This is a painting. So not only did Barry Sanders sign this, look how amazing that painting is. And you flip it over. This is a 101, and the artist signed it too. I just think this is so damn cool. I absolutely love this. I will undoubtedly throw a bid on this. It is a great looking card. I know it's not necessarily withstood the test of time for an important set, but wow, for a Barry Sanders beautiful autograph on top of a one-of-a-kind piece, how could you not for that price? All right, well, I think that is going to do it for this week's Football Friday. I am curious, what was the card that stood out to you the most? What did you think about some of the questions that I posed during the video? These things sure are fun for me. I hope you are enjoying these just as much as I am as I learn more about football cards. I tell you what, my collection has become almost exclusively football at this point, and I'm loving it. Next week might be difficult for me to get to. As much as I rag on baseball, I am secretly a very diehard Dodger fan, so my family and I are actually going to the World Series. So if I get back in time, we'll pump out a video. If not, I'll see you guys the next week. Take a moment to like, subscribe, tell me what you like the most. See you guys in a week or two. Take care.